Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to take every listing appointment that you go on. Now, taking listings is a two-step process. First, you have to set a listing appointment, and then you got to go out and have them sign the listing agreement with you. And I know from almost 16 going into 17 years of coaching tens of thousands of real estate agents, many times you don't even consciously or unconsciously don't even want to set an appointment or get an appointment because you're not confident that you can handle the listing appointment. You don't know what to do. If you get the appointment, now what? So I'm going to take care of that for you on this video. Stay tuned. I wrote this down. Obviously, sellers have a lot of options of real estate agents that they could list a property with. There are a dime a dozen out there. So why should they choose to list with you? Write that down. And I wrote down 6 reasons why they should list with you. Number 1, you're well prepared physically and mentally. I'm going to go into detail on all of these points soon. I have a lot of notes here that I prepared for you. And then write this down. In being well prepared, one of my favorite quotes, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. We're taking care of that for you here today. Number 2, they will list with you because you are confident. When you're confident, they feel confident that you can sell the house, and that's a requirement for them to choose to list with you. Number 3, you make them feel important, like you actually care about selling their house, getting the job done, helping them achieve their goal. Number 4, they will choose to list with you because of your work ethic. You're not like every other agent out there who takes a listing and sits around for 6 months hoping and praying that it will sell. Number 5, you sound like an expert. I actually wanted to say you are an expert. Now, some of you watching may be brand new to real estate and you don't feel like an expert. Well, you need to sound like you know what you're talking about. You're knowledgeable about real estate. This is your career. This is your job. They're not going to list with someone that they don't feel know what they're doing and doesn't know what's going on in the real estate market. Number 6, what you say to them makes sense. It makes sense to you because if you don't believe in what you're saying, they're not going to believe it either. And it makes sense to them and they believe that you can get the house sold. These are the reasons why they're going to choose you. So now I wrote down 10 points to bring all of this together for you so you can be well prepared and get lucky on your listing presentations and get those contracts signed. Number 1, I wrote down, never set an appointment for tomorrow that you can go on today. Now, this is critical. You want to take listings, right? The more time that goes by between you setting the appointment and going on the appointment, the less chance you have of taking this listing. When you set an appointment, you have some momentum going on with the seller. You want to ride that momentum. You want to get to that appointment as soon as possible. So if you're brand new and you feel like you need time to get the CMA ready and you need the paperwork ready, well, you need to have urgency because the quicker you get there, the better chance you have. Here's point number 2. Always pre-qualify your appointments. Pre-qualifying is critical because it's going to allow you to gather information. That is the purpose of pre-qualifying, is finding out before you get there what their questions are, what their objections are they interviewing other agents, what are they looking for in the agent they'll list with. So when you have that information, now you could show up and be prepared to handle it, to address all of it. If you don't pre-qualify your appointments, your chances of taking the listing go down dramatically. You're going to be blindsided by questions and objections, and you will not be as well prepared as you could be to handle it. Number 3, create a pre-listing package, an electronic version that you can email to the seller prior to the appointment. Now, this doesn't have to take a lot of time at all. You have it ready. It's not specific to the seller. You can or may not include the market analysis. You don't have to. If you do choose to include the market analysis, do not put any recommended price. If you send out the listing agreement, make sure the price is not on that listing agreement. If you're meeting with someone you don't know, a Fishburne expired or somebody you don't know, I would not recommend that you send out a pre-listing package, because they have no idea what you do, what you're going to do to sell the house. They don't know what value you bring to the transaction. If they see your commission, they may cancel the appointment without even giving you the opportunity to show up. So again, if it's somebody you don't know, leave the market analysis and the listing agreement out of that package. Send out some information about you and your company, brief information, what you do differently, what you're going to do to market the property, a brief overview of that, some testimonials. That's the kind of stuff you send out. Number 4. Mindset is everything. So mindset is what's going on in your head. And I wrote down, when it comes to mindset, for you to take listings, you need to assume before you show up that you are going to take that listing. So if think about this, if you go on a listing appointment and you're doubting that the seller is going to list with you, your chances of actually taking the listing go down dramatically just because of your belief. You're not even expecting to take the listing. So you got to work on this. On your drive to the appointment, listen to something that motivates you, that inspires you. Listen to role plays of listing presentations, what you're actually supposed to be doing there. That's what you do, instead of sitting around while you're driving there and worrying about what you're going to do and what you're going to say. Preparation and mental preparation is critical. Number 5, you only have one chance of making a great first impression. This is a huge part. Remember, I told you about being prepared physically and mentally. You want to look professional. The way you're dressed, your makeup if you're a woman, your hair, your shoes, your nails, men and women, right? You want to make sure you look clean and presentable. You want to make sure that all of the paperwork that they will need to sign is completely filled out ahead of time. The only thing I tell my clients to leave blank is the price on the listing agreement, because you're going to fill that out once you go over the market analysis and the price with the seller. Everything else is ready for them to sign. Your car looks clean. If they're looking out the window and you're parking your car in front of their house, they're not wondering like, oh my, it doesn't have to be a new car, but it needs to be presentable, clean, inside and out. First impressions. When you knock on the door, physically, what do you look like? Are your shoulders back? Do you have a firm handshake? Do you have a smile on your face? Would you, by first impression only, list with yourself? Great question. Number 6, this is about the paperwork, right? I already said everything is filled out ahead of time. And when you get to the house, after you look around, after you look at the property, You want to take the listing agreement, and this is a subliminal close. You want to take that listing agreement and put it on top of the counter right in front of them with the pen sitting on top of it. So you don't say anything, you don't need to explain anything, you just put the listing agreement there with the pen. They're looking at it, they know what it is. This is implying that they're going to be signing that very soon in order to list with you. Number 7, have high energy, enthusiasm. Be passionate about being there and being able to help them. If you have no energy, if you walk in and you're falling asleep and you're speaking very passive and wishy-washy, motivated sellers are looking for an aggressive agent. And when you're passionate about what you're doing, there's some aggressiveness that it's implied in that. And when you're excited, they'll be excited about working with you, and people make decisions when they're excited about the future. Another reason why you need to have high energy and you need to be enthusiastic and passionate, it makes up for a lack of skill. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm a little nervous about this and I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there, high energy and enthusiasm will help you take a lot of listings while you're working on your skills, so you eventually master your skills. Point number 8, use a script that makes sense. Now, this is your listing presentation script. There are a lot of options of scripts out there. What you're currently using or what you're being told to use, does it make sense to you? When you put yourself in the situation of a homeowner that wants to sell their home, if an agent showed up for a presentation and they said to you what you're being told to say, would it make sense to you? And would you want to list with them? Obviously, I'm very biased. I leave my presentation. I don't believe I know. It's the best one out there. It makes total sense in the way that it's the order of everything, the way it's worded. I spend a lot of time and use years of taking 150 listings a year. I took all of that experience in creating the script. Now, I know a lot of agents say, well, I don't like using a script. Well, I mean, what is your option if you don't want to use a script? You're just going to sort of make things up like on your own? That's not a good option. You need to use a script that makes sense to you and that works for you to get the result that you want. And I want to add, it's not the script or using a script that you don't like. If you're one of those like, oh, I don't like using a script. No, what you don't like is to sound scripted. Nobody does, because that's not very exciting, and people can tell when you sound scripted. Now, in the beginning, you have no choice. You're gonna sound scripted for a little while. You're gonna practice every single day. You're gonna read the script out loud as fast as you can over and over and over. You're gonna write and rewrite the script. You're gonna role play. You're gonna video yourself making a listing presentation. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna critique yourself and recognize what you need to improve on. And all of that, if you do this every single day, the practice, in no time, you're not gonna sound scripted anymore, because you're gonna you're gonna memorize and internalize the script, and pretty soon it's gonna sound like you. This is how we learn everything. It requires practice. Now, I don't recommend that you just spend time practicing before you go on appointments. You need to start setting appointments and getting out there and doing your very best. And even if you don't know what you're doing and it's not that great, some people are going to list with you, and you're still practicing every day so you can get better and better and better. Every time you go out, you're doing a better job. And Once you start to sound conversational, your results are also going to improve dramatically. Point number 9. Sellers want to know what you do differently. I said in the beginning of this video, homeowners have a lot of options of real estate agents to list their house with. Why you? Not why you. Everything else that I already told you is why they're going to choose you. But also, what's the difference between you and everyone else? What do you do? What are you going to do for me that is differently? You do a lot of things differently, but a very important one, and you want to make sure this is part of the listing presentation script you're using. You are an active and aggressive agent. You're not going to sit around like every other agent and wait for the house to sell. Mr. Seller, you and I both know there is a buyer for your house out there, and my job is to go find them. I talk to 40 to 50 people a day, Monday through Friday, about buying and selling real estate. And I'm going to get the job done for you. We're going to get your home sold in the least amount of time for the most money with the least amount of hassle. Let's go ahead and get the paperwork signed so I can go to work for you. You are an active and aggressive agent. The prospecting you do not only benefits you as the agent, because you're looking for people that want to sell, and you're setting appointments and you're finding business, but it's also going to benefit the sellers that you're working with. I have a lot of scripts in the listing presentation that go along with this particular point, and it's critical. And then the last thing you have to do to take the listing is you have to ask for them to sign the listing agreement. Now, it's such an obvious point, right? But the truth is that agents many times don't feel comfortable asking for the signature. Is it possible that they may say, where's the paperwork? Where do I sign? Yeah, but that's going to be like 1 in 1,000. You have to become comfortable asking them to sign the agreement. Practice in front of a mirror so you could look at yourself. Practice actually I told you that before you start the presentation, you put the listing agreement with the pen in front of them, right? So once you agree on the price, you could just take the pen that's on top of the listing agreement. You write the price. Okay, great, Mr. Seller, we're going to price it at $4.99. I just need your signature right here. And you point to the signature line, hand them the pen with a smile on your face, and you're nodding yes. What you're saying and your body language is congruent. And you must become comfortable with this process. And if they don't sign, they're going to give you an objection, which you have to handle that objection, and then you ask for them for the signature again. There are a lot of videos on my channel on handling listing presentation objections. So look for those, watch them so you could be better prepared and know what to say if they don't sign the first time you ask. And remember, 80% of the closes happen after asking 5 times. So you don't just ask once and that's it. You have to keep going, and this is not going to come across pushy at all. Go look for the videos on the handling the objections at the listing appointment. I trust all of this information is going to help you improve your listing presentation and be well prepared to walk away with a signed listing agreement every time. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon.